I was thinking, do I offer my commiserations? But then I thought, well, you've got nothing to prove. You're here surrounded by family and friends. Great performance from Luke McKenzie, who we know is a good friend of yours. It's not the end of the world, is it?
Mate, it is what it is, and what it is the end of my career here. And the truth is, physically, I just can't get it done anymore. That's the truth, and that's the hardest thing for an athlete to admit. But you know, I've lived in the gym, trying to strengthen my core, and I've always done a lot of core work. But you know, I was reading through my training log last night, and I've been at the gym 70 times in the last 90 days. I couldn't have done more, and you know, I also got sick, and you know what that is not excuses, but it's a sign that your body's revving into the red, doing the bare minimum to get ready for a competitive race like this. You know, in the past when I'd get ready and race here, bomb-proof, and that's how you see Frederick today and Luke, that you don't get sick. You know, your form is good and you're able to overcome bad luck and you know, I guess be opportunistic when the good luck comes your way, and you get equal shares of both. So, I mean, it's disappointing because, you know, I sacrificed a year of my family's life and time in my life for this, but I can tell you honestly, I did what I could. And, you know, I had a great swim, very comfortable, got up, got in the group. Coming down Kuakini, I got a flat tyre, nearly crashed, making that right-hand turn up Palani. Slowly dropped down the back of the group, because that's where the tech guys are. I was towards the front. Rode it, probably halfway up, before I got to the back of the group. Got a relatively quick change, probably the worst place to get it though on an uphill. So then you got an uphill start, and it probably only cost me a minute, but the truth is, you get up to the Queen K and turn left, we had a tailwind, you know, it took me best part of 10 miles to catch the group, and I can tell my speed didn't drop under 50k an hour. And, you know, I know Training Peaks were publicising my Garmin. I can tell you, to catch the group, took 10 miles. There were 25 guys in the group. It took me another 10 miles to get almost to the front of the group. I went through 90 kilometres in 2:05, you know. That's pretty quick in anyone's language, and it felt good though, I must say. It felt good when I caught back up to the group. But you know the heavy hitters have been in that group, and they're picking their moments. And you know, I got to Harvey pretty much in the group. There was a couple of players off the front, Starkowicz, I think Luke was off the front, and Keenlay, and I was sort of in the middle of the next group.
About 3 minutes down, yeah.
On the leader, Starkowicz, yeah. But you know, right with O'Donnell, right with Bockel, Lanos, Van Leerd, they were all there. And we made the turn, and coming out of Harvey, I went to get special needs. I was the only one who got it. It probably only cost me 20 seconds, but the gap opened, and it took me 40k to catch back up. I didn't catch him until the Manalani, and when I caught him, the group was Doherty, Timo Bracht, Lanos, James Cunamar, and the other half, the Van Leeds of this world and the Mackenzies, couldn't even see him. So, you know, and I felt good actually. Luke Bell and I rode well. It took 40k, but we tacked back onto the Lanos group, and that's exactly, as fate would have it, exactly where my back tightened up again, right at Waikoloa at the Hilton. And you know, I rode with the group. Luke got dropped. Tim O'Donnell was already dropped. Luke got dropped, and I was next. I only rode with it for 2 or 3 miles. I could hardly get down on the bars again, and you know, I think I lost probably 4 minutes, maybe even more, to the Timo Bracht group, and my back was just tight. It was tight, you know. And like last year, I thought if I can loosen up, I always feel I could run a low 240 marathon here. And yeah, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. My body's not what it was. This has definitely been my last Ironman. I think
as disappointing as it is, as you say, you've done everything you can and your body's telling you, isn't it? Like, you know, there's no point
Mate,
fucking around.
I think
It
the truth is the
yeah.
heart and lungs, as much as they get stronger with age, when you get sick and you taper, when you know you have to spend as much time in the gym and your back still gets tight, I think the truth is your body is telling you something. And what's telling you is that, yeah, sure, I think this is my 10th Ironman in total, but I've been doing this sport full time for a long time, and I need a good rest. And this will be my last Ironman, I can tell you that. I mean,
What will you do next year then, Craig? Where will you focus?
I'll still race, but we'll base in Australia. You know, I feel like it still could be competitive at halves. You know, I won 3 of them this year. I did get third in Melbourne off a very limited preparation and a new child being born 4 days before. Very happy with that race. Time moves on. You know, Dave Scott did get second here at 40, and I had maybe delusions of grandeur that I could finish on the podium. You know, the sport is evolving. There's a lot more depth. I mean, you know, when I was chasing that front group down, I'm looking down seeing 50, 55k now. Granted, we had a tailwind, and I see the group. There's 25 guys in it. It's the world champs, and there's 25 guys in the front group. You know, that's how competitive it is. And I know all the names. I know all of them. You know, they've all won Ironman races, or won half Ironman races, or been to Olympic Games, and you know, I think you need unbelievable form here to be able to capitalise on the bad luck, and be opportunistic when you get the good luck, and you get, the truth is you get equal of both in a race like this. And you know, I got a flat tire, it probably only cost me a minute, but ultimately I wasn't able to ride with the boys. When Van Leer and Mackenzie and those boys went, I'd spent all my bickies, and that was that. They were, you know, it was interesting running into the lab, into the energy lab, a little ways into it, and the podium getters were running it. They were the class of the field, those 3 boys. I mean, I've had huge raps on Luke Mackenzie for a long time. I've said it for the last 2 weeks, anyone who cared to listen. He was a podium threat here. I trained with him the last 3 weeks out here. And Frederick Van Leer, my wife will tell you, I picked him to be on the podium. Actually, I picked both those boys to be on the podium, and I was the 3rd in the trifecta. So Sebi's ruined my trifecta, but
Sebi and another 15, 16 other blokes.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But they deserve it.
Crow, this being, you know, it for you in Kona, just tell us what this race has meant for you, both, you know, as a pro and personally as well. You know, your wife and kids come out here every year, and you know, what has it meant to you to be not only here in Kona but to be a champion multiple times?
Well, it's meant everything. It was a coming of age. You know, I was already a world champion in other distances when I got here, but you know, it fast-tracked my everything, my career, my experience. You know, I came here as a 34-year-old, and everyone was telling me I was going to have to serve a 5-year apprenticeship, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I've got 5 years, so I'm very proud of my record. You know, obviously, I don't need to tell you guys, you know what it is, and just really thankful for the help I've had to be so consistent here, because that's the challenge. You saw with PJ today. It's hard. You need to find a nice balance, because there's a window of opportunity when you win here that the commercial reality is that's when you're most valuable. And as a professional athlete, your job is to capitalise on that. Now, the truth is that eats into your time, and it certainly did with me last year. That, for me, that was why I couldn't get my body ready. This year was opposite. I did everything I could, and I think it was just an age thing, but this race has meant everything to me. I mean, you know, I'll be honest with you, last year was bitter, because I felt after a silver medal in Vegas, the heart and lungs were there, but my body let me down, and it was my own fault. I wasn't vigilant like I think I had been for 15 years. This year I did everything, and you know, I knew running that last 6 miles was the last time for me out here, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I'll always come back, support people. Just so proud of Luke, you know. You know Phil, you know I've had massive raps on him. He and I lived together in San Diego 10 years ago. Through his trials and tribulations, I could see the talent and I could see the work ethic. And there was always this perception that he was more about the social media and the photo. He was never about that. He was about performing here. And 2 years ago he got 9th, and we saw, I think, a glimpse. And today we almost got the full menu, but I think there's still more. Just so happy for a kid who's put his life on hold, and that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You have to want it. It has to mean everything. You have to suffer for 12 months, and he's had great support from Pete and Vicky's his mum and dad. They're out here every year, and you just love to see that. It's a family thing. It's a team thing, and they'll share in it. And Jackie, his sister, was out here. I'm just so happy. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, Luke copped a hiding in the media. Some people ragged on him and made out that he was all fluff and no substance. He's substance, you guys better believe it. And I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. As I said, he and I came to America together in '02. I've seen it firsthand, I've lived it with him, and just really happy for him. But on the bike, the cream will rise to the top, and you see the strong boys, and you saw it today. You saw Luke, Sebastian, Frederick, Dirk Bockel, Tyler Butterfield, the strong boys. This is still a race of strength, not a race of speed. You saw the strong boys really put their stamp on the race after Harvey, and it was a done deal. It was a done deal, and yeah, just can't speak highly enough of that performance up front. People say we had some clout, and we did, but you know what? Every year's hot, humid, it's varying degrees. You can't control the weather. All you can do is get in your best shape and then execute. And that top 5 today, all of them, they deserve to be there. They were the class of the field, and next year I'll be watching with you guys.
I know you said it's a cliche, but evolution and changing of the guard. There's a very neat changing of the guard here from yourself to Luke McKenzie, and obviously PJ as well.
Yeah, well, PJ, don't sleep on him. His quirky personality, and he cops a bit of flack here and there. Let's not underestimate the talent, and I don't think people do. But he's got to find that balance that we were talking about, and he will. And don't let me tell you, this will hurt him. This hurts a champion, and he is a champion, and he'll go away and do the post-mortem like we all do, and he'll be back. So you throw him in the mix. Luke will go from strength to strength here. Nothing like a shot of confidence, and he'll get a big shot in the arm for this. But PJ will be back, and Frederick, and I think it's a race of strength. So look at the strong boys. The funny thing about even a race like this, where people were saying, oh, the conditions are a bit cooler and we had a tailwind for the first 60 miles. A tailwind is actually hard because you have to put power through the pedals the whole way. The boys at the front are still putting out 300 watts, and anyone who rides a bike knows to put out power downhill or with the wind is hard to do. Like I said, last year I was very bitter at this time because I felt my preparation was subpar, and it was, if I'm to be totally honest. And when last year I crossed the line 12th. When you cross the line 12th, and that's what you're capable of, and you've had a good preparation, well then you take it. But when you cross the line 12th and you hobble around because you haven't been vigilant with your preparation, well, you get what you deserve. This year's the opposite. I prepared the way I like to, and the body's just breaking down. In the sessions, the heart and lungs, the power is still there, but for a prolonged build-up, my immune system got run down. I was picking everything up, and that's a sign you're revving too high. It shouldn't be that hard to get in great shape, and if it is, someone will tell you, or your body will. That's the old saying.
And you've got to have the good sense to listen.
Yeah, and if I'd had the good sense, I probably would have listened last year. But I'm stubborn like that, and mate, let me just say, I have no regrets. I'm happy I came back. I only ever wanted to do 5 races here, and my lovely wife let me get 2 extra in, and I'm forever grateful to her and thankful for that. And it's a special race. It's a special race, and win or lose, presents you with different challenges, and there were times today, and certainly times last year, where I didn't know if I'd finish, and I'm so glad I got to the line.